talk about those running backs, man. Unfortunate that Rashad White tweaks a groin. I wasn't a big fan of him even playing in that game. I really didn't see the point in having him out there because he's kind of a starter, kind of not, but still, you really don't need him out there. What do you need to see from him that he can't do in practice at this point? But ends up tweaking a groin, and we saw Tucker, who's been a stud, and this guy Wright, 49, come in there and deliver, man. And if it wasn't for a holding penalty on a wide receiver and I believe a holding penalty on an offensive lineman, he probably has 3 touchdowns that night. Speaking of Wright, so pretty nice to see that we can just run the ball no matter what, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this shakes out in terms of who they're going to be able to keep, after Sean Tucker, because that's a weird position. You need those guys, but you're probably going to lose one of these dudes to another team, I think.
It all depends on our ability to stay healthy throughout the preseason. I think Todd, like you said, he said Rashad's groins day to day. I don't know if Rashad gave you any update. I'm sure they're pretty tight-lipped about injury type stuff, but I think it doesn't sound like it's anything major. It's going to require any type of major time off or surgery, and hopefully he'll be healthy. But having a guy like Sean Tucker is a luxury. Sean looks like he could take the lead. He looks like a lead back out there. So that position, along with the mentality that our offensive line has right now, we know we can run the football. Our backups know that they can run the football. That's a great sign. And outside of that worrisome situation at left tackle, and hopefully Charlie Heck can do a good job and keep Baker, protect Baker and not be a liability. And from all, I mean, Jason himself said it on his podcast. They're very confident. I haven't heard one negative word said about Charlie. We were focusing on him at practice. He looks like the consummate pro, but you never know when the live bullets are flying. And hopefully, like I said, we're not talking about him or even saying his name as we just run the ball down Atlanta's throat, control the clock. Slap Pennis around. That's what I'm hoping for.
It's not like we're going to show our game plan or what we're going to do, in Tristan's absence in the preseason, but it's no secret that we're probably going to put a tight end out there. I don't know if you noticed, Culp and Payne got better as blockers, which I really liked. O'Keefe had a couple of moments where I wish he was a little bit better, but I still think he's a hard-nosed guy that has a really good shot at making this football team year in and year out because of his attitude. But yeah, they're going to put a guy out there. They're going to lean on that. And you know what? Why not? Why not use 3-headed monster? In terms of Sean Tucker, we didn't see him in pass pro very often, if even at all, on Saturday night, which I didn't expect that they would do anything like that. So I think that's really been the one thing that's holding him back. Has he improved on that? Is he able to be better? We don't know yet. We'll see. But that's ultimately why you have a guy like Rashad White who's so good at what he does and has such value on this team, because he's very good at that. So in order to kind of crack into that lineup, you're going to have to either need an injury or you're going to have to really prove to the guys that when you get in there that you can do that, Sean Tucker. But yeah, he's more than capable of running the fucking football with anyone in the league, in my opinion. He reminds me kind of Maurice Jones-Drew, but with a little bit more
bowling ball type style.
Yeah, but with a little bit, he's not as small, he's not as compacted, but he's got some, he runs fucking pissed off, dude, which I absolutely love. And I think Susan in the chat mentioned it. How about the rap job that the trainer was trying to put on Rashad White during that little, they had the camera on him. It looked like a guy who's first day at the warehouse, never wrapped a pallet in his life. He's over, every time he's spinning, it's coming off. He's over here. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I could
that should have been the thumbnail. That should have been the thumbnail for the show.
I could feel Rashad about to just push him to what are you doing down here, boss? It was, and I think after that he ends up going inside, but. Could we get that guy some certified warehouse training, Stank? I mean, you're in that building in terms of this kind of stuff, right? You're out there doing the foot stuff. You're out there with the baby oil. What do we got to do to get that trainer? It looks like an intern, possibly. Probably an Izzy type intern out there. Get him some warehouse, some warehouse training, man.
Yeah, that was pretty much the worst moment of the night. Yeah. I don't know how something like that happens. I can tell you one thing. It won't happen again. Okay. No. That guy's key card did not work this morning when he went to the facility. He's done.
First cut of the preseason.
Yeah, dude, you got to send a message. If I'm telling you right now, if Todd didn't send that message this morning, can you tell at the press conferences, he was a little angry. He had a 3-minute press conference today. Little bit of I think it was exactly that. You know, he's not going to come out and say it because he won't throw guys under the bus. But that was an embarrassment. Not only did you come out with some logo for ants on the helmet, you know, then that.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even connect the two, Stank.
Yeah, dude.
I bet you what happened. He lost the actual decals, and he didn't have the helmets prepped in time. That's why they didn't have the fleck. They didn't have the shine to them. And they're scrambling. They're like, I mean, all we got is these little tiny logos we were giving out to the kids for the mini helmets. I'm like, well, that's all we got. We got to slap them on. And they probably, like, hey, Gus, you fucked up again. And they probably made him do it on his own. Then he's out there sweating. He's probably nervous. Can't get that saran wrap to wrap properly on Rashad's groin. Or maybe he was intimidated, saying. I mean, you've had some experience down there, crotch to face before with other male. Is there maybe intimidation factor in there when he was trying to wrap him?
Never crouch to face. Okay.
Never,
sure? Let's make that perfectly clear.
We can tell the story right now if you want.
It's more like I'm at the base of the mountain and I'm looking up at the peak. That, you know, but
that's even worse. Would you rather be looking up at erect or rather be face to face with a?
No, it was my own business. You know, it was my own business. That's all.